Most people in life choose entrepreneurship, but in the case of David Smith, it seems that entrepreneurship chose him, and from a very early age.
I grew up in a typical, middle-class American family, but we moved around a lot. By the time I was in the 5th grade, I'd moved around to 4 different states and 2 different countries. And when you're moving around a lot as a kid, you learn to make friends quickly and try and be out there and be a little bit more of an extrovert in your personality. So I think that led me to, gain some sales skills in my childhood years.
And indeed, it wouldn't take long for David to start generating a profit as a teenager from the sales skills he learned as an adolescent.
I had an uncle at the time, and he was really an entrepreneur and would always kind of show me these new businesses he was starting. So I think that's when I started kind of getting the flair for wanting to, work for myself and start my own company. Then in the, middle school, I was about in the 7th grade, I started car washing, boat detailing. Then in high school, I started another company, and that was a pressure washing and painting company. That actually kind of started to grow pretty quickly while I was still in high school. I started hiring employees. By the time I went into college, I was still operating and running this business. By the time I graduated, from a business standpoint, it was doing more than I was going to make in doing corporate career in accounting, which was my field of choice at school. I kept stuck with that business for a couple more years until I realized I think I wanted to go back to business school and get a corporate career going at that point in my life.
But though David tried to relinquish the life of an entrepreneur, it seems that life had other plans for him.
After a couple of years in this corporate career, working at a commercial bank, and my colleague that I had ran into had approached me about a business loan for a mattress store, and I had all the contacts and resources to kind of research it, and it was a good business idea. But banks don't like to do startup loans, and so of course they said no. But I at the time thought, well, hey, I'll fund it. I'll go in partners with you.
And unable to resist the spirit of entrepreneurship, once again, David found himself going into business for himself.
In the early days, we had a lot of fun. We'd, call these plant managers from the top, bedding names, Sealy, Serta, Simmons, and say, hey, we want to come buy your truckloads of your factory second, blemished mattresses, your overstocks, all these things that these manufacturers would pile up. We had to learn a lot about the rules of selling, factory blemished mattresses, and then learn some of the, different regulations of these plants. So our first plant that we started to buy from was the Serta Salt Lake City, Utah plant. They could not deliver the product to us in Las Vegas because that was against their agreement with the plant out of LA that would handle the Las Vegas market. So we literally would meet them down in St. George, Utah. We'd bring a U-Haul truck, and we were literally unloading mattresses from their trailer into our U-Haul truck in 110-degree heat, which, let me tell you, is about as hard as work as you can imagine. Hauling it and then hauling it back to the store in the warehouse to sell to the customers.
But it would only be a matter of time before David gave the mundane life of the corporate employee one last shot.
It was clear that, I wasn't able to spend as much time on the business that he was. And so we had an agreement to have him have a pre-buyout if that time ever came. He chose to buy me out, and I was out of the mattress business, and I was running my corporate career and living with my, now wife, girlfriend back then, and we decided to go mattress shopping one day to, fill up the house. And I was just shocked at the stores in this area.
They were just extremely expensive, and we did not get good customer service. So we just kind of started thinking, well, gosh, maybe we should start a store up here.
Really, it was the founding capital that, we decided to get started with the business. And at the time, we were living together, and our plans were to get married. So I figured she's going to get half anyway, so I'm going to have her come in half. And she had the business experience and the accounting experience to help out in the business.
I stayed working for a long time, actually. For me, it was kind of hard to give up my job where I was at. What pretty much changed me was we had 2 kids. So then that added the other factor to it. And after our second child together, it's like, okay, I'll retire from that job and focus on our family and our business.
And that unexpected encounter brought this entrepreneur and his company a whole lot of good fortune.
The one day there's, this sweet old lady came in and I sold her a mattress and she wanted same day, as we kind of talked about. A lot of the customers would like to get delivered same day. And I said, I'll deliver it after work when I close up. And it was a long day. I'm driving to her house to deliver the mattress, go in there, make the delivery. And she's just starts kind of talking to me about the business. And something inside told me, this might be a worthy conversation. So we sat down, started having some tea and cookies, and she starts, asking me questions about the business, how we're marketing the business. And she says, well, have you tried this Craigslist? And I said, oh, it sounds interesting. She said, oh, Dolly, you got to try it. And, I think it'd help you out even more than, the classifieds. So that night I went home, and again, now it's getting pretty late at night, and I jump on the computer and start posting these Craigslist ads. Next morning, business just starts rolling through the doors, and I was just blown away.
But though David seems to have good luck on his side and a knack for entrepreneurship, his success is not absent hard work, as Mattress Depot's vice president can attest.
Everybody thinks that it's easy and simple to do, but I can tell you that David and Tori don't have a clock that they're clocking in and clocking out of. There's many nights that you're getting emails at 11 o'clock and 11:30 at night, and when you get into ownership, that's the commitment that they put into it.